What's your why? Why coding for kids now?
Um, so, why coding for kids? When I started Quillo and learned all these things, and as well then went through YC and Strive, I didn't have any tutors in order to teach me this stuff. I didn't have a well laid out and optimized study timetable. I didn't have an AI-based adaptive learning system to help guide me through all of these different challenges as I was understanding how to build these things. And the reason behind that was that and the reason rather why I didn't need those things in order to get to the point where I am now is that core motivation and drive, and in particular, an innate passion and joy for what I was doing. So at its core, first and foremost, it's just fun. It's just the in the process time of building, of learning, of solving these problems is joyful and meaningful. It's about being, I suppose, more attached to the journey than the outcome, and enjoying that journey and doing things not because they necessarily have an output or an outcome, but more importantly, if you just enjoy the process in of itself, that's what ends up powering that sustainability. But now, having said that, like what I said previously right now, that all those resources I didn't have, which is what we then give kids when it comes to math or coding education, isn't needed. In a world where you're able to empower kids to find their own innate passion, their own innate why for learning something, you automatically unlock education like this. Instead of pushing a kid or a student to do something just because they have to get a good mark in a test, just because of these external factors and influences, if you can start making that internal and making them self-driven to do that, it changes the ballgame. For me, it's like if you want to learn how, or rather learning and all of the work that we end up doing around improving learning outcomes for students, it's like putting a faster engine and a more powerful engine in a car with square wheels. If you don't solve the problem of square wheels, which is like an innate passion and desire to learn, it doesn't matter what you put in that engine. What matters is it going to actually roll down the hill when you put it there? Is it going to like trudge down? And so seeing that, and so kind of seeing the gap that exists between what I know education could be, because I know it could be, because it was that was it for myself. It was so meaningful and joyful and rewarding. And yet you look at education for many kids, and it isn't that necessarily. It ends up being a lot more test prep. It ends up being things that don't inspire love for learning. And so seeing that delta and that difference and seeing the potential to overcome that I would say is my why for coding.